Section 305, Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, and we're learning the laws of Shabbos, Halacha 37. The following laws applies. We spoke about Halacha of you're allowed to give your horse and donkey to a shepherd for them to graze, because we don't have a concern that the shepherd is going to use them for work. But renting them could be a problem, because they can then be used on Shabbos. If you give them to just a goy, he's going to use it on Shabbos, and he's not afraid to use it on Shabbos. A shepherd doesn't want to be looked at someone that is misappropriating his the deposits that he has with him. So Mishakonso vehemto shivisa. The following laws applies when the Shabbos place of a person's animal is established. Bein hashmoshes, as the same time as the same place of that of his shepherd, and that place is outside the town's Shabbos limits. If the animal is wandered out of the shepherd's Shabbos limits on Shabbos and enter the Shabbos limits of its owner, the owner is forbidden to bring the animal to his home by hand. The rationale is that the animal is only allowed to walk 4 cubits in its present location, as is the law regarding a person who goes beyond the Shabbos limits of the Shabbos place he established, Bein Hashmoshes, as will be explained in section 396. So we're learning a new concept, that there's established place that you're creating on the beginning of Shabbos. Ben Hashmoshes, that at the time of the twilight, right before Shabbos, you're establishing the place where you are, and now you're not allowed to go out of the city limits. Right. So the owner may, however, but this also applies to animals. The owner may, however, call to his animal so that the animal will follow him to his home. So he's not allowed to pull it, but he's allowed to call it. This is permissible since the owner is not leading the animal by hand. The animal is walking home of its own volition because he calls to it. He is not commanded to prevent it from doing so, because a person is not commanded to have his animal respect the Shabbos limits, as will be explained. Even if the animal went beyond the owner's Shabbos limits and beyond its own Shabbos limits, the owner may call it to come to him. There is no concern that if the owner is permitted to do this, he will go out to the animal, even if it is beyond his Shabbos limits, to bring it home, because the owner does not panic regarding his animal to the extent that he will violate a prohibition for its sake, as will be explained in section 332. So it says in 140, just a short note, the subsection deals with treating an animal's illness, and states that as long as an animal does not have a life-threatening malady, its owner will not panic with regard to its care. Certainly, this applies with regard to an animal's wandering beyond the Shabbos limits, because it was common in that era to allow animals to pasture more or less freely.
There's places here that they're